It happened the instant the candles guttered out. Applause fizzled into nothing, and the room seemed to hold its breath. I stood there, glass in hand, smile fixed, as my wife's mother introduced me to her boss. Her words cut sharper than any knife. "This is my daughter's unemployed husband, the one who can't keep a job or a marriage." Laughter rippled around the table, cruel and sharp. But then her boss, calm and deliberate, glanced at my wife, not me, and said in a low, measured tone, "You're fired." The room froze. Shock hung thick in the air. My wife's face lost every trace of color. Her fork hovered midair. And me? I simply sipped my wine. Revenge, I realized, is sweetest when you don't have to lift a finger. It hadn't always been like this. When I first met Clara, her mother had smiled politely, pretending she liked me. I was ambitious then, a young architect building my future from nothing. Clara believed in me, or at least I thought she did. We shared a tiny apartment, cheap wine, laughter, whispered dreams. But success became an obligation. Her mother ensured that. She measured my worth by promotions and paychecks, not by character. When my firm collapsed, she declared it proof that I was never good enough for her daughter. And Clara? She stopped defending me. "You need to figure yourself out. Replaced, we'll get through this." It wasn't just her words. It was the way she dressed for dinners she never invited me to, the phone she always kept face down, the flinch when I entered a room mid-call. Subtle at first, changed passwords, distant kisses, excuses that made no sense. I didn't confront her. People reveal themselves if you stop asking questions. The truth arrived one night through a misdirected email, a forwarded thread between Clara and her mother. Subject line: Next steps. My name appeared twice, once as an obstacle, once as resolved. I stared at that word in the dark for hours. Resolved. No shouting, no smashing things. Just quiet. Patience. Planning. I played the fool while they whispered and schemed, thinking they'd won. Meanwhile, I started freelancing under a pseudonym. Hensley Designs, her mother's company, was growing, and coincidentally, I was brought in as a consultant via a partner firm. She had no idea it was me. 6 months of silent work. Proposals, designs, reports. Always meticulous, always discreet. Her boss, Richard Lang, noticed. Sharp, perceptive, a man who doesn't miss details. Eventually, he reached out directly. We spoke. I provided the facts, the documents, the proof, but never named her. He pieced it together himself. Which brings us to tonight, Clara's birthday. Her mother insisted on a lavish restaurant, a stage for her social dominance. I was merely tolerated, her unemployed son-in-law. This is my son-in-law, Mark. Unemployed, but trying to stay relevant, she announced, loud enough for everyone to hear. Laughter followed. I didn't react. Richard Lang's gaze met mine. Recognition sparked, subtle but undeniable. He leaned toward Clara's mother, calm, deliberate, every word dripping authority. You're fired. The room went silent. Smiles cracked. Wine choked. My nod to Lang was brief, a shared acknowledgement between two men who had long known the truth. I left before they could speak. No need to witness begging, no need to see the moment her illusion shattered. Outside, the night was cool. Streetlights blurred on wet pavement. Clara called later, voice trembling, filled with apologies she hadn't earned. I listened and then hung up. Some mistake silence for weakness. But silence is a weapon. It lets others dig their own graves, exposes their deceit. And when the collapse comes, it's quiet, peaceful, and utterly satisfying.